Welcome to this Music Tech student update. We're currently towards the end of March, and I just want to give you guys an update as to what we've been up to this last month or so. So I just want to draw your attention to this courses page. This is a new look for us, and a lot of development's gone into this page just to try and make it a bit easier to work with. How you get onto this page is just by clicking on the courses button, and hopefully what the aim of this is, and there's still a bit more development to go, and you can give us your feedback as to what you think so far, but hopefully the aim is that you'll be able to get every single course that we develop throughout the year on this page, and they'll all be categorized as you can see here. So all courses will drop down and give you everything. Then you've got the Music Tech Coursework page, which will just give you all the coursework stuff, the exam page, styles, and then some software page. So this is still under constant development, and we are very much up for your feedback. So up until kind of the middle of March, we've just had our sole focus on coursework for AS and A2 Music Tech. And we've created loads of courses this year. So we've got 4, 5, 6, I think we've got 7 courses just to do with, no, it's 6 courses just to do with the AS and A2 coursework. We've had Mr. Escott on board this year, and he's developed 4 of these courses all on his own. And it's actually a fantastic opportunity to pick the brains of an examiner. And how he's developed his courses, and that's these 4 on top here, is from very much a mark scheme point of view. So he's looked at the mark scheme and he's kind of broken down the objectives whilst working on a piece of coursework and kind of showing you guys some techniques and skills. And for each video, there's approximately, 150 minutes worth of video. And they're absolutely fantastic. They're absolutely in-depth. So if you are an AS or an A2 student struggling with your Task C coursework, definitely have a look at these, because he gives some really good insights how to get those extra marks. Each of these have also got a logbook section. So let's just click over to this. Let's click on this view course button and just have a little look, and you'll see that at the bottom of these pages, and there's loads of videos, and you can see, actually this is my one, my bad. This is one I created. So let me go to one of his. Here we go. Towards the bottom of his course, you will see that he's done a logbook section, and this just tells you how to get those extra marks. And this is really important for task 1C, where there's 20 marks at stake. But as you can see, he's broken down each of the mark bands, and it's absolutely brilliant. Well worth taking a look at, well worth going into some depth and just seeing how he's got there. As well as this, we've also asked him to create us some practice papers, and they should be ready towards the end of April. So he's done 10 AS exam section A practice papers just to get you guys into the flow of answering the questions, and so far they're looking brilliant. We've also had Mr. Stubbing on board this year, and he's been creating some worksheets. There's currently 7 of these worksheets, and these are for A2. So if you're struggling, because A2 is a very practical exam, if you're struggling with kind of getting some practical experience, have a go at some of these. So he's focused them around a song, and he's basically given you some MIDI or some audio to deal with, and he's set out a worksheet to kind of go, okay, so produce this piece or cut this up, or something's wrong with this, and he's dealt with it in a very much a practical way of problem solving and giving you the skills that you need to complete that aspect of the A2 exam. So let's just go back one last time. So as said previously, now up until the exam, we will be working quite heavily on exam pieces. And that starts with kind of some of the styles. So if I just shoot over to the styles page, and what you'll see here is the section B AS listening list. You can get to that by coming to the styles button, and it's just here. If you scroll down, you'll see that we've got all these kind of the fingerprints of the style, we've got some genre overviews, some documentaries, and then we've got the listening list, as well as artists from the previous listening list, because this is the second time that this particular exam has been run. So we've also got the artists from the old list as well as the current list. I would definitely say look at the current list, and if you get time, definitely look at the old list as well. And we'll go through some of how to approach this in just a moment. And then if we scroll down, we've got the club dance ones as well, the current listening list, plus all the general fingerprints and the genre overviews and documentaries and all this kind of stuff, plus the old listening list, which you can have a look at as well. Hopefully loads of stuff there. One question we get asked absolutely loads and loads of times is, how do you work with your club dance courses, or how do you work with your styles courses so the students can actually work through all these things? So as you can see, we've got this club dance course, and you can get to this just by clicking on any of these artists and it will take you to the relevant page. Okay, so nothing different there. Or you can click on the course in the courses page, which we just switch over there and I'll show you the courses page. So there they are there. So you can click on those to get there. So easy enough. And we've got two, as you can see, they're quite in depth. Now, everything to do with the current listening list has a revision card as well. Anything that's not to do with the current listening list does not have a revision card. So we've got the same with the punk, and you'll notice that we've got all the artists there from this listening list plus the old one. So how does this work? How are we doing things differently? Why would you use our course over, say, just using Wikipedia or just using, other research like YouTube? And the reason is we kind of combine everything. We put it in a really easy to understand way. Plus, we give you practical exercises to do. Now, I will heads up that the quiz is not currently finished, so I might just pop over to last year's one just so you can see the quiz as well. So I scroll down and we'll go to the indie rock, which was last year's exam section B style, one of them. Now, under the development, you'll see that there's 4 tabs. Let me just work you through how I perceive this could be used. And we're losing the video, so I'll go over to my ones in a sec, but I just want to show you the quiz. So basically, for this top section, you have 5 tabs: stylistic fingerprints, some origins, which will be some kind of documentary, the revision cards, which you've got this lovely revision card section here, then a test, and then finally a discussion. The discussion is always your big one. So this is going to be based on a question that you'd actually get asked in section B, okay? Your test is broken down into smaller questions that you'd have to look at, questions that you could get answered in test as well. So you click that, you can look at this and you say, okay, answer the question, so on. Once you've done that, you would move on to the next one. And we're still working on that. As said previously, that's not quite ready yet. So let's move back over to our club dance and I'll show you how it's going to work this year. So club dance, history and development. So there's the first one, finding out about the genre. So remember, there's quite a big question here. So section B in total is worth 50% of the whole marks. So it's worth keeping in mind that there's a lot of study to do and it's worth just going through this. And this is how we do it. First, stylistic fingerprints. So we've broken down all of the fingerprints, plus we've broken down all the subgenres in a nice, easy way. Then we've gone off and we said, okay, let's have a look at this graph of how they combine together. And this is taken from How Music Travels. I believe that's a .com. We've also got a documentary at the top here, which kind of points you towards kind of some bigger study. So what I would do with the documentary is watch it all the way through and write notes as you go through, just making notes about how these things gel together. And it is the best way. Once you've done that, you've got a little bit of a review here. You've then got some other documentaries based on other styles and subgenres. Then you've got the wiki page, which is great. After you've done that, you can then go off to the revision. So you can ask yourself some questions. Say, okay, let's do this. Okay, describe the development of club dance music. Now you're going to spend 5 minutes, and what I would do first is click on the arrow, read the question, but don't click on the answer. So how does house music have its, or where does house music have its origins? And then write down your answer to that all by yourself. And you could go through all of these if you wanted to. And then when you come back, you click on the answer and say, great. I got that right, or I need to focus that a bit more. These are very good guides. They're not comprehensive by any means, but they will definitely eke out a few extra marks for you and get you thinking about this stuff. The next thing, once again, the test isn't finished. Once you've gone through the revision and you've written your notes and you've watched the documentary, then you'd come onto the test section and you'd write your test out and you'd complete your test and find out how well you did. Then the brilliant part of this, you click on the discussion, you answer the discussion in this box below, and hopefully your peers, other students, and maybe even teachers, if we're lucky enough to get a couple of teachers that want to do this stuff and answer their students' work, would come by and they would reply to it and say, hey, you just missed an answer here. The good thing about these is you've obviously got all the mark schemes of where you can get extra marks for answering them. That's pretty much it. So let's have a look at one of the artists as well. So let's go over to punk and show you how the artist one works. So click on the artist and we've got the Ramones. With this, you start off with their music. Now, I always find that the students in my class don't necessarily know what the artist even sounds like. So the first thing we do is pull in a Vivo track and say, hey, listen to the music, listen to what they've got. Okay, once you've done that, scroll down because there's more music to click on. There's also album reviews, plus a load of other stuff, a load of general information. Once you've done that, you can click on the explore button, and that will give you a biography of that particular artist, and that's great. And you can read through the biography, and at the very top you'll also get a video. Unfortunately, this video has been taken down, so we'll have a look for another one, and that'll be a documentary explaining the artist. The next bit is a revision card again, and you'd go through each of the questions and you'd say, okay, where did they develop their sound? And write your notes. So don't press the answer until you've written your notes for each of these questions, and keep going through them. And I think there's between 8 and 10 of these questions that you can do. And then finally, once again, the good one is you get to answer one of the questions, and this will definitely come up in the exam. Describe the Ramones' contribution to punk music. But that will be a question from 3 different artists on that listening list, okay? So you'll get a choice of 3 different artists on that listening list. So it's worth completing these. And they only have to be roughly 150 words in length. So once you've read the question, come down here, fill it in, and hopefully, once again, one of your peers, even ask one of your peers to review your question and write the comment. Help each other out, start collaborating. So that's where we're at with the courses. Now, if I just pop back over to our main courses page, let's just click on the courses page here. The next thing that we're going to start looking at is the revision sessions. Closer to the exam, probably about 2 weeks before the exam, we're going to start running daily revision sessions. So currently those revision sessions are here and here. So you've got the A2 one and the AS. We're in the process of updating these. So you'd click on this if you're an A2 and you'd update it. There will be a schedule for this. There'll be a fresh post that will schedule this. And each day you'll just get another one of these in an email, and it will give you some extra resources, and we'll make it a real community thing. So it's going to be pretty fantastic. But we're going to take on one a day. But if you want to kind of get some extra practice, you should be coming here anyway and just having a little look at it and using these resources. So that's pretty much all I have to say for our current update. Loads more to come, loads more to talk about, but that should give you so much to do, and hopefully we get a higher success rate with you guys this year, and hopefully you guys really aim for those A-star marks. And that's really our aim, that every student that comes to our site is getting between C and A-star, and that's what we really want. Fantastic stuff. Give us a shout if you need anything, or if you're struggling with anything. We'll do our best to answer that, and I will see you soon.